everyone, and welcome to the Fate and the Fablemaidens podcast. I am Renee, and I will be your DM. I'm super excited about it, and we'll be playing 5e, 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons. This is a real play podcast, so you will actually get to hear us playing the game as we go. But today, we're just going to do some brief introductions for you so you can get to know our characters and get to know us a little bit better before we jump into the story. So, Becca, take it away.
Like Renee said, my name is Becca, and I will be playing the character of Merryweather. Merryweather is a rock gnome, and she's an artificer gunsmith, which I think is super fun. I'm really excited to play a gnome that wields a thunder cannon.
It's a fun dynamic.
A very fun dynamic. So I think probably some of the most important things to know about Merryweather is that she is the youngest child in her family. She was an accidental 10th child after kid number 9, born 50 years later. So like a big whoops for gnomes. And she spent a lot of her time just traveling kind of between her family's homes, between her parents' homes and her brothers and sisters' homes. And no one was really ever sure where she was. They just assumed she was with family. And sometimes she was, but she just really liked exploring the hills around her home and figuring out new things and learning from her siblings. When she became an adult is when she decided that she wanted to go see more of the world. She set out, she joined on a sailing crew where she met a half-orc named Grozuk, who was a gunsmith master, I suppose, and he taught her everything that she knows about gunsmithing.
Okay, can you say his name again just for like
Grozuk.
And maybe like spell it for interested parties.
Grozukk.
Got it. Grozuk.
How very orc.
Great.
Yeah, he's an half-orc, so, you know.
Oh yeah. It's a very orcish name.
Yeah, I looked up an orc name generator and everything.
Beautiful.
Very official.
I meet a lot of Grozuks in this world.
Yeah. Yeah, so I feel like those are the kind of the main points about Merryweather.
Awesome. Laura?
So, I'm Laura, and I will be playing Winnie Took. She is a Lightfoot halfling. She is following the Bard class. What kind of bard she'll be, we'll find out. Be pretty fun adventure. She's very young for a halfling. She's about 30, which is like almost 15 of human years. And she is the youngest of 2. She has an older sister, 2 parents, happy life, happy home, but always fascinated by adventure. She's very joyful. She's very excited to explore the world and share joy with what she finds, and that's Winnie.
All right, Sam.
My name is Sam. I will be playing Twiddle Twaddle. She is a changeling barbarian. She had your typical changeling childhood, lived among a family that she doesn't want to talk about at the moment, and then went to go live with the Twaddle tribe and was raised, as you expect, with barbarians of similar sort. But she has left her mountain to find that mate that she is looking for. And if she has to drag him back by the hair, she doesn't mind doing that.
That's so awesome.
True twaddle love. Yeah, so one of the most exciting things for me is that I get to DM with 3 of my closest friends, but part of the fun is, while I've known both Laura and Becca since high school, Sam and Becca just met on Google Hangouts like 2 days ago.
New friends.
So excited.
That's part of the fun. We're making new friends, and I get to hang out with all my friends, which is fantastic. Laura and Becca and I met back in high school, and we all did some level of theater together at some point or another. We all kind of went our own ways by the end of high school, I believe, but like we were pretty involved there at the beginning, and our theater director in high school, Mrs. Dye, would call me and Becca the Tweedle twins. And we thought it would be this great idea to start calling ourselves twin and give ourselves Tweedle names. She is Tweedledum and I am Tweedledee. And then Laura joined the group, and somehow we thought it was a great idea to have an induction week as freshmen in high school. So we were so popular and so well loved, and we decided to dress up in dumb costumes.
This was the worst idea we've ever had.
I'm talking like togas, tutus, just ridiculous.
I don't don't know why we did this. Like, I cannot remember our high school logic. But at the end of the week, we had a third Tweedle twin, Tweedledoe, which leads me to still refer to both Becca and Laura as twin. So if there is any confusion, we will try to clear that up right away. But that's both of their nicknames. And then Sam has met Laura. We actually live in West Texas and so are pretty familiar with each other, but Becca's recording from a distance.
Good old Austin.
Good old Austin. Gotta love it. When we kind of had the idea for this podcast, we couldn't think of anyone that we really wanted to include that was like kind of that same level, but Sam and I had been playing in a campaign for a while and she's one of my closest friends. So you know what? We just said, hey, let's make this happen. Let's pick someone that we know we can trust and love.
Aww.
And well,
She fits right in too. It's beautiful.
She does.
I feel like she's always been part of us.
Exactly, that's what it feels like.
I named my barbarian in honor of the Tweedle twin. So Twiddle Twaddle Tweedle.
Yes.
Which makes so much more sense. So that's kind of how we all got to know each other, and starting a podcast was just kind of a fun, creative idea after we all got into D&D. So for me personally, this will be my first time DMing a campaign. I've run a few one-shots at a local game store, but they're definitely very different playing fields. I'm really excited about it. I've been working on my story and world building for the past month, and I'll give you a little bit more of insight into that world as we get started with our first episode. But I'm definitely a little bit nervous, a little bit excited, a lot of bit nervous and a lot of bit excited. But I think that's one of the great things about this. I will be running 5th edition, as I've said, but we will be playing pretty loose and fast with the rules. Since we're doing this in a podcast setting, there are going to be a lot of things that we want to cut down on, rolling, math, that sort of stuff, mostly for your listening enjoyment. So, if we do cut something for the rules because we don't want to spend too much time flipping through the book, I've actually only been playing Dungeons & Dragons seriously since this summer, which was about 6 months ago now. So this is kind of a big leap for me. I started about 2 years ago, but I just couldn't get into it. I started with a one-shot. I had a terrible headache. I wasn't in a good mood and couldn't get into the game. And so it was a while before I got roped back in and ended up walking into the local game store on behalf of my other friend who wanted to start playing. So I just thought it would be a good idea to get him some dice. Walked in, met some friendly people, and joined a campaign the next day. I've been playing that campaign ever since with Sam, actually.
Hello.
It's fantastic. I don't know exactly when we'll wrap up that game, but it's been really good, got me back into it, got me actually learning the rules to the point where I feel somewhat comfortable doing this. Please forgive me for any mistakes I make along the way. Let me know if there's anything you think I can improve on, and I'm going to do my best, so please just be pretty easy judging us as we go through this process. Becca, how'd you get into D&D?
Well, first, I just want to hype about Renee for a second.
Oh, gosh.
Let me just tell you, because you guys don't necessarily know Renee. She is such a fantastic writer, and she is so wonderful at building compelling worlds and compelling characters that creating a campaign, I'm just so excited to see what world she created for our characters to play around in, because this is just so fitting for her skills and her talents, and it'll really show.
Can I just say Renee looks really uncomfortable right now?
I'm blushing. You can't see me blushing, but I am.
Yeah, so this is going to be a whole lot of fun, and I'm so excited and so honored to get to be part of this world that she's created, that she gets to be the fate of.
Wow, yeah. Oh, hey, yeah, that's a thing. I'm Fate. These are the Fablemaidens.
Hello.
Fablemaidens. Take it away. How did you get into D&D?
I first played D&D when I was in college. I guess I'd always heard about it, but I heard about it. It was like super, super nerdy, which I'm a huge nerd, so like that wasn't really the problem.
But I never thought I was going to be this kind of nerd.
Yeah.
I knew I was a nerd. I didn't know I was a Dungeons and Dragons nerd.
At least we don't LARP though, right?
At least we don't
Not
LARP.
yet.
I don't know. I wore a cape for most of middle school, so
That's true.
Sorry, Becca. You were explaining.
And I'd always heard, like, that's the devil's game.
Yep.
That's not what I think about it. I was like, well, it's just a game, whatever. But I'd always been like, well, what is it? Why do people even think it's the devil's game? But I got to college and found my nerd crew there, and we decided that we wanted to play D&D. A couple of us had played D&D before, most of us hadn't. We didn't end up doing it for very long. It was just a couple, maybe like 3 or 4 sessions, and our DM made characters for us because we didn't really know what we were doing. But that, I mean, look, it just hooked me, you guys. And so I played that mostly freshman year, and then I graduated college, came back home to Austin, Texas. One of my really close friends here, her husband is also a massive nerd, and he really wanted to start a D&D campaign with his wife's friends and his wife. And so we started a D&D campaign that year, and so it's been about 2.5 years now that we've been playing with, or that I've been playing with the same group. And I feel like I've grown a lot as a D&D player over those years, and just, I don't know, D&D is just such a blast, you guys. It's so fun. I'm just so excited to play more D&D and to have more D&D in my life.
Amen.
For me, I also got started in college. I was the RA in my dorm, doing the rounds, checking on everyone. I go into our common room, and there are 4 guys sitting at a table rolling dice. I left the room. They didn't say anything to me. After my rounds, I came back into the room and I said, "Hey, so what you doing, guys?" And they said, "Oh, we're playing D&D." I said, "Oh, are you gonna invite me to play? Like, can I play?" And that was it. We played for 3 years till we graduated.
I love that you
Shout out to my
yourself and then stuck
You bet
around
I
for
did.
3 years.
You bet I did. Yeah, invited my boyfriend too, so there you go. But shout out to my Upright boys, thank you. And then I get to West Texas and meet some more friends who play D&D, and we've had a campaign that lasted like 2 years and just ended, so I was looking for something new. Pretty pumped about it.
So, if y'all want to know how I got into D&D,
We do.
We
We
do.
or is
definitely
Renee
do.
gonna ask me? I don't know if she's gonna ask me, if I just need to like
Hey,
wait.
I didn't
Sam.
wait for it. I just
She just went.
spoke.
'Cause
She just
Laura's
went.
Yeah.
Ballsy.
But Sam,
Yeah.
how did you get into D&D?
Well, first time podcasting, not first time playing. I started playing in July or June, I don't really remember, with Renee at the local gaming store. I was a monk drow. It's been a lifelong dream to play. Actually, I'm still a monk drow. There was no past tense. I should know that. But
Yeah, that campaign is still going.
it's still going. But I just love D&D so much. I'm all about the dragons and I'm all about the dungeons, and I'm excited to like do this barbarian thing. Oh, and I have 9 sets of dice, and someone might be getting me some. We're recording this before Christmas, so spoiler, but I might be getting a 10th set. So
Wow.
there you go.
I did the math. I have 17.
I'm gonna come for you.
I know. Yeah, I bet that dice addiction is gonna catch up to
bad. I mean, I think we need to go like see a group or something. Like, I need help.
me. I don't think any of our D&D friends would help with that because they're just as bad as we are. We're clearly very excited about this podcast. So we just want to say, yeah, why are we excited about this podcast? I know that for me, this is something that I've been a writer for a very long time, and this is something that I can point to, that I can say, hey, look at this creative piece of art that I did with my friends. And that's what this is most about for me, is I get to play with my friends, who I think are all incredible, funny, and clever women. So yeah, it's really exciting to be working on this with some of my longest friends and some of my closest friends. And
I'm at least 7 feet. I'm so long.
No, I was about to make a height joke. I totally was.
Yes.
You dorks.
I'm excited about the goofs. The goof on the goof on the goof on the goof.
The goof on the goof on the goof.
Guys, what are you guys excited about? Because I feel like I talk a lot.
Well, I just love D&D so much. It's just so fun. And you can be so silly. And it's like you have your like normal day-to-day life, and then you're like, hold on, I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna go fight some bandits with magic.
Or dragons, as it were.
In a dungeon.
Or dragons in a dungeon with magic. Or whatever, you know? And so it's just a fun, silly way to like hang out with your friends, and I'm excited to hang out with my friends here. And also about it being a podcast is I'm just super passionate about online content creation. I love the internet, and I love internet culture for the most part. Guys, be nice to each other, okay? Yeah, yeah, so I really love just the idea of making a podcast and being able to put it out there and like build communities around such a beloved game as Dungeons and Dragons, and make it available to more people, and hopefully allow more people to just experience the joys of dungeoning and dragoning.
For me, I'm just really excited to play with friends. I think Dungeons and Dragons is fun. I enjoy it. I enjoy playing a character of my own design. But really, I'm here for my friends. If it weren't these 3 people, I would not be here. So I'm excited to create stories, make memories, and hopefully make more friends through this outside of the 3 of us, the 4 of us, including myself. I think it's going to be a really fun time, even if nothing, it's good time with friends.
Glad you're friends with yourself too, Laura.
Thank you. Me too. It's been a long journey. I didn't really like myself at first, so.
Did any of us really like ourselves at first?
Well, we liked each other at first. Well,
That was all that mattered.
Checkmate Becca.
that's not even true. But
It's not even true, actually.
I liked Becca and Laura.
I didn't like Becca.
yeah, she did not like me. I brought it up at her wedding.
She did, because she's so kind.
It's so funny to me. I was so oblivious, and I think that's why
She
we
was.
eventually became friends.
I think so. Perseverance. Yeah, I love you now.
I was about to say, but Renee just found out the truth about our
I did.
meeting.
I didn't know until like 2 weeks ago that Sam didn't like me when we first met.
Beautiful. That's a lifelong friendship right there.
I'm just excited. I love podcasts. I normally listen to true crime podcasts, like a lot of true crime, like an unhealthy amount of true crime podcasts, like a lot. It might happen. Maybe Twiddle will just turn into a detective at one point. I don't know. I just don't think she has the stamina to do that, nor the caring. I don't know.
I'll try to throw in some real clues for you. Some real cluey clues.
Some real
to
clues.
follow.
We'll like circle it out and be like, "This is an Easter egg." Do we have the rights to that? Can we say that? Sure. Why not?
Easter egg?
We could say Easter egg.
I'm just saying, but I'm excited. I just love D&D, so anytime I get to play, I'm all game for it.
Thanks for listening to Fate and the Fablemaidens. We hope you've laughed with us and that you'll keep laughing with us as we continue this adventure. I just wanted to close this pilot episode with some notes on how we Fablemaidens are going to be playing this D&D game. We want this podcast to be accessible for anyone, even those who haven't played the game before, but we kind of jump right into playing at the beginning of the first episode without really expounding on that. So, let me assure you, you don't have to be familiar with D&D to listen to this podcast. The long and short of the game is that the players tell me what they want to do, then they roll some dice, a 20-sided die to be exact, which is why you'll hear us call it a D20, and cross their fingers for good numbers. Bada bing, bada boom, they succeed or fail at what they were trying to accomplish. I set the difficulty for success in that kind of role based on a narrative standpoint. So, for example, jumping across a pothole is going to be a lot easier to accomplish than jumping from rooftop to rooftop. Not that I would make my players roll to jump over a pothole, since that should be pretty easy, but hopefully you understand the comparison. These characters that they've created have varied skill sets that make them better at certain things. So while one might be very good at jumping, another might be better at persuading, and another might be better at observing. These checks span physical, mental, and social actions, and I'll ask them to roll in any of those given situations where it's needed. Yeah, there's more to D&D than that, but that should be plenty to get you started. And I'll go over more of the mechanics when we hit them in the story. But honestly, we won't be using too many of the rules. We chose D&D as the best vehicle to help us tell this story, but really we are here to tell a story. There are a lot of things we're adapting to better suit an audio medium, and we want this to be something that's accessible and enjoyable for experienced players and listeners who've never filled out a character sheet. Please feel free to let us know if there's any way you can think we can improve this process, but also expect a very rules-light version of the game so that we can focus more on these characters that we love and the story I have planned. A huge thanks to our friend JP Devando for our theme song, Fate and Fable. If you like what you hear and would like us to succeed, the absolute best ways you can help are by rating us on whatever you're listening to, but particularly iTunes and Google Play, and telling your friends to listen and do the same. This kind of response makes a big difference for a podcast starting out like us, and we'd really love to hear your thoughts. Also, check out our website, fateandfablecast.com, for news, our episode log, and information about the cast and characters. You can also email us at contact@fateandfablecast.com, or follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, and Instagram @FateFablecast and use the hashtag FateFM. Now, everyone, roll initiative. The show's about to begin.